This video is intended for faculty members of Lakehead University and provides a very abbreviated overview of the academic integrity investigation process as outlined in the Student Code of Conduct Academic Integrity Policy. Under Lakehead's Academic Integrity Code, if you as an instructor detect a breach of academic integrity or strongly suspect that a student may have plagiarized or cheated, it is your responsibility to bring these allegations forward for investigation. There are specific procedures that must be followed and a very specific timeline that needs to be met, mainly to ensure our students experience a fair and consistent process. We recommend that you take some time to acquaint yourself with the code, which can be found by selecting the Student menu from Lakehead's homepage, and then by clicking on Student Life and Student Conduct, which will take you to the Student Conduct webpage, and then on the landing page you'll see the policy, which can easily be downloaded. We also recommend that you go to the Resources section on the Student Conduct webpage and download the appropriate flowchart to help guide you through the academic integrity investigation. This flowchart summarizes the process and simplifies it down into 4 easy steps. The flowchart also contains the links to the various forms and tools that you'll utilize throughout the process. And if you would like more detailed step-by-step instructions related to each of the 4 steps that will be described momentarily, then please watch the other videos in this series. These videos are much more in-depth and unpack each step to provide you as a faculty member with important tips and best practices to keep in mind while investigating a breach of academic integrity. As we shared just a few moments ago, one of the most helpful resources is the Academic Integrity Investigation Flowchart for faculty members. If you've not downloaded it yet, we encourage you to do so. Often faculty will print it off and keep it close at hand if they encounter academic misconduct in the classroom. We hear from users that they refer to it regularly. This also is the tool that will be used for the basis of this video series. Let's take a look at it now and go through each of the 4 steps briefly. Step 1 is to advise a student of the suspected breach. Essentially, this first step is to simply let the student know that you've noticed something in their work that you believe might be a violation of the Student Code of Conduct. This advisory is sent using Form 1. It's a letter template called the Advisory of Suspected Breach. We'll talk about that more in the next video. A copy of this letter also gets sent to Student Affairs, who will inform you how to proceed. Step 2 is to confirm the process with the student and arrange a meeting. This simply means that you inform the student as to whether you, as their instructor, will be carrying out the investigation, or whether the case will be referred to their dean. Again, you do so by issuing a Form 2, which is the formal notification letter. This letter also begins the process of setting up a meeting with the student, which brings us to Step 3. Step 3 is to meet with the student to discuss the details of the allegation and to review any evidence you may have. Again, we get into greater detail as to what this meeting might look like later on in the series in video number 3. Once you've met with the student and they've had an opportunity to respond, you would then move on to Step 4. Step 4 is where you would fulfill your judicial responsibilities and requires you to make a decision whether to uphold or dismiss the allegation. And should you uphold the allegations, you would also decide upon an appropriate sanction. These decisions will be communicated to the student through a Form 4, which is the Declaration of Outcome template. Once the Form 4, Declaration of Outcome, has been sent to the student, the investigation process is complete and your job is done. So in summary, before we wrap up this introductory video, let's do a quick recap of the 4-step process. In a situation where a potential academic integrity violation has occurred, you would first advise the student and Student Affairs of the suspected breach using Form 1. If you are informed by Student Affairs that you will be carrying out the investigation, you would then confirm this process with the student and arrange a time to meet using a Form 2. You would then meet with the student as soon as you are able to discuss the alleged violation, and following the meeting, once you've gathered all the information you need and kept detailed notes on Form 3, you would then make a decision to uphold or dismiss the allegation, along with the implementation of appropriate sanctions should you decide that a violation did indeed occur. And lastly, you would close down the investigation by notifying the student of the outcome using Form 4. Alright, well that concludes the introductory video for the academic integrity investigation process. For more in-depth commentary and instruction on each of the 4 steps, please refer to the other videos in this series. And as always, if you have any questions or need support at any point in time, please do not hesitate to contact the Student Conduct Office.